Imagine being swallowed alive, not by an animal, not by quicksand, but by a pipeline, a 30-inch steel tube running along the ocean floor, coated in oil, stretching over 1,200 feet into pitch black darkness. No light, no room to turn around, broken bones, burning lungs, and 4 colleagues depending on you to save them. This is not fiction. This is what Christopher Boudrum lived through, and only he came out the other side. February 25th, 2022, Pointe-à-Pierre, Trinidad and Tobago. 5 veteran divers arrived at Berth 6, a platform owned by Pariah Fuel Trading Company. Faisal Kurban, Kazim Ali Jr., Rishi Nagasar, Yusuf Henry, and Christopher Boudrum had done jobs like this countless times. They were professionals who trusted each other with their lives. That trust was about to be shattered. Their task was routine maintenance on a massive U-shaped pipeline running along the seabed. To work safely, they deployed a diving bell, a pressurized cube that displaced the surrounding water with compressed air, creating a dry workspace. Proven technology. It had worked perfectly before. What nobody properly accounted for was an inflatable plug installed 2 weeks earlier inside the pipe. A dead leg in industry terms. Managing it safely requires meticulous pressure, hazard assessments, and careful planning. The evidence strongly suggests someone skipped that part. Someone decided preparation wasn't worth the time, and 5 men paid the price for that decision with their bodies, and 4 of them with their lives. The moment they loosened the valve to release the plug, physics took over with terrifying indifference. The pressure difference between the diving bell and the pipe's interior created an instant catastrophic vacuum. In a fraction of a second, the pipe became a monstrous vortex, screaming, churning, and hungry. It swallowed everything: equipment, water, all 5 men. They were fired through the pipeline at violent speed, tumbling through an oil-slick tube for 90 agonizing seconds. No control, no air, no up, no down. Then, as suddenly as it started, silence. They stopped. They were alive. For now. Somewhere inside that 1,200-foot pipe, they found themselves in an air pocket. Almost everyone was injured. Broken bones, burning eyes, deep lacerations. The GoPro 1 diver had been carrying was still recording. Every whispered prayer and desperate breath captured in that suffocating dark. These were grown men, hardened by years of dangerous work beneath the sea, and every single one of them knew exactly how bad their situation was. Yet somehow, in the black, oil-soaked coffin of steel, they chose to keep moving. They chained themselves together and began crawling, Chris at the front, Faisal pushing from the rear. Every inch was a war, slippery oil, absolute darkness, men with shattered bones dragging themselves through a tube barely wide enough to move in. They found 2 oxygen tanks along the way, a miracle. But then the water started rising. Christopher scouted ahead and found the next section completely submerged. With only 2 tanks between 5 injured men, going through together wasn't dangerous. It was suicidal. Panic would set in. They would drown each other. He made the hardest decision of his life. He had to go alone, find the exit, and come back for them. Kazim begged him to stay. Even as he accepted Chris had to go, he gripped his foot and couldn't release it. Christopher had to physically yank himself free from the hand of a man terrified he'd never see daylight again. Then he swam into the black water and didn't look back. What followed was an almost incomprehensible act of endurance. Flooded sections, nearly empty tanks, finding a regulator with no mouthpiece and pushing it directly into his mouth, breathing through a mouthful of oily sludge just to grab one more breath. Eventually, after what felt like a lifetime, Christopher Boudrum broke the surface. He told rescuers everything. Rescue divers descended and knocked on the pipe. They heard knocking back. The men were still alive, still waiting for his promise to be kept. For a brief, agonizing moment, it seemed like all 4 of them might actually make it out. Rescuers were in the water. Help was close. Hope, against every odd, was still alive inside that pipeline. It never was. The rescue failed. The company underestimated the conditions, misread the situation, and the window closed. By the time the 4 men were pulled from the pipeline, they were gone. Autopsies couldn't agree on when each man died. Officials estimated they survived until Saturday. Some believe one held on until Monday, alone in the dark, in the oil, waiting for a rescue that never came. A commission of inquiry was launched in Trinidad and Tobago to investigate every decision that contributed to that catastrophic day. Christopher Boudrum appeared before it and testified, carrying the unbearable weight of survival, of being the one who made it while the others didn't. No verdict, no investigation, and no amount of accountability can undo what happened inside that pipe. 4 families lost fathers, brothers, and sons, and 1 man was left to live with a promise he kept, and a rescue that didn't. 4 men never came home. 1 man crawled out of the dark and has spent every day since carrying the memory of a hand that wouldn't let go. If this story moved you, subscribe, because every week we bring you the stories that prove truth is always more devastating than fiction.